Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. We already got folks checking in from Colorado, California, Oklahoma, New York, England, Ohio, Dallas, Texas, Slovakia, Oregon, all sorts of good folks checking in. Welcome to the Tapping Jam. What we're going to do is we're going to do a little tapping today. We're going to talk about some of the process. You're going to get a chance to throw your tapping requests into the chat box, and we're just going to tap and tap and tap some more. Before we do that, just a couple of really, really quick announcements for you. Let's see here. Let's go to the next slide. Number one, if you could do me a great favor on this video and for the channel, if you could hit the thumbs up, if you could hit the subscribe button, that is not a vanity thing for myself. I don't judge my worth on the number of likes, number of views, or the number of subscribes to the channel. But instead, every single time you consume something on YouTube, you are letting YouTube know what is valuable, which means content is going to be shared wider. So if you're ever, not just for me, if you're ever watching a tapping video, a transformational video, something that you would like other people in the world to see, the easiest way to let YouTube know that that sort of stuff is valuable is just click subscribe, click like. If you see something, even after watching a video, again, if it's not mine, but something you like, leave a comment and just say, hey, I really like this. I learned this thing. What it's going to do is again, we are just training YouTube to share tapping with the world, share transformation with the world. So easiest way for you to make a difference for a content creator is to do that for them. So that'd be super, super useful. Number two, 2 weeks from yesterday is 24 hours of tapping. We would love for you to join us over the course of 24 hours. We're going to share conversations with 28 amazing transformational folks from all over the world, sharing all sorts of really useful information on how you can get more out of tapping. If you enjoyed the conversation we had this week, I know you're going to love this particular event. It is a fundraiser for the Peaceful Heart Network, an organization that is near and dear to my heart. This is an event that me and my team run. We make absolutely no money off of it. We invest our time and energy in this because, one, we want to create really valuable content for the world for free, and two, we want to support an organization that is truly, truly, truly making the world a better place. And if you've looked at your newsfeed anytime in the last couple of weeks, you notice the world needs to be made a more peaceful place. This is a very simple way for you to engage in that in a super, super direct way. And if you go there and you sign up, in addition to all the information about the event itself, after the event, you'll get access to all of the replays for free, so you can dive in. Also, when you sign up, you'll immediately see the playlist of the last 3 years, that there is over 90 interviews from some of the best transformational people in the world waiting online for you, absolutely free. We will have the schedule for the 24 hours of tapping up very, very shortly. We have just a few more finishing touches that we're putting on it. As you can imagine, trying to get 28 people in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 continents on the schedule at the exact same time, at a time that works for everybody, is a little thing. So we're in the final stretches. We'll get that stuff sorted out. But if you go there, you will get schedule and all of that stuff when it is made available. Don't worry. If you sign up, you're not going to miss any of the details. We will take care of you. One final announcement. Peter, who is a member of the Tapping Mastery Academy, just sent me a note and said, hey, is it okay if I put together some practice sessions for folks so we can play with this? This isn't sanctioned. Like, I trust Peter. Peter is one of my students. Peter is someone I really, really appreciate. But he has put together 2 practice sessions on Monday and Thursday, I believe. If you go into Circle, you see the little post at the top. If you click Show More, it's going to give you the times. It's going to give you the Zoom link. So if you want to hang out with some folks who participated in this sort of stuff and get into small groups and stuff like that and practice the tool, again, it is just an informal practice session. I'm not going to be participating in it as I'm getting ready for the 24 hours of tapping over the course of the next 2 weeks. But it is something that is there, something the community offered. And again, I want you to use this stuff more. And if getting together with folks who've been through this with you together is an opportunity for you to do that, even more the better. Great opportunity for you to connect with some other transformational folks. So yeah, that's happening, I believe, on Monday and Thursday. But if you go to the Circle, and it's now at the top, it now says practice session. It looks just like that at the top. Click See More, and you'll get all of the details. Finally, I'd still love for you to come and join us in the Tapping Mastery Academy. It is something that I love dearly. This month, we're actually doing a deep dive into uncovering limiting beliefs in multidimensional ways. I have some really new tools that I'm going to be sharing with you all there. We do that Tuesday and Sunday. And if you sign up, you're immediately going to get access to 3 years of archives of training. It is all there waiting for you. tappingqna.com/LBC, Limiting Belief Challenge -TMA, Tapping Mastery Academy. And I sent an email about it yesterday. You'll actually get another email from me later today with another invitation. Where I actually share a story from someone in the community that she shared yesterday in the chat box, but it'll be good and useful for you to be able to engage with that as well. Awesomeness. So one of the requests that I got in the VIP session yesterday was someone had asked, what would it look like if we went through the entire process of the week in a single session? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate the comprehensive version of all of the steps that we have talked about in real time, tapping on my own stuff. And as we do that and as we work our way through that, you can tap along with me, you can tap in that way and that sort of stuff. And then what we'll do is we're going to do some tapping. When we do tapping as a group, it's going to be a little less structured because it's not going to be the back and forth of investigation, but instead we're just going to be pulling up limiting beliefs, and it's a chance for us to tap our way through stuff. Awesomeness. Okay, great. Very, very good. So this is what the process looks like. Now, one of the things that I would encourage you to do as you work your way through a process like this is, and this is a mistake that I make all of the time when I sit down to tap. We know that when we're tuning into an issue and we're tapping, we're creating release. And so oftentimes what happens is I am in a circumstance where I'll be having a conversation or I'll be taking notes, and I'm like, great, talk about what's going on, ask follow-up questions, tune in, and I'm like, okay, now let's tap on the side of your hand. When you're doing the investigation, when you're working through all of this stuff, we can tap the entire time. So as I work my way through this, as I read the stuff out loud, I'm going to be tapping along. I'd encourage you, whenever you're working on a tool like this, to be tapping the entire time. It will make it easier for you to do exactly that. So this is what the process looks like. So we're going to start. And so I've just kind of pulled the slides from the 4 previous days, because those are the days that we were engaging in stuff, rewrote them a little bit. So the slides are going to look familiar as we work our way through this little bitty process. So first thing we're going to do, so just tap on the side of your hand. As I go to like move my slides forward and that sort of stuff, you'll see me stop tapping, but I'd encourage you to tap the entire time. So the first thing we want to do is we want to name an action or a change that we want to make. So in this case, the action that I'm going to tap for is there is some emails that I have been dragging my feet on sending, and they're super, super valuable, and they're going to make a huge difference for something that I'm working on. And I'm not doing that sort of thing. So that is what I'm going to focus on. So this is what the steps look like. The 4 steps. Imagine taking the action and feeling the resistance. So I'm going to tap the side of the hand. I'm going to take a nice easy deep breath. And as I tune in, the resistance for me in this moment is landing in my solar plexus. Just as a side note, oftentimes when things land in our solar plexus, they're about acceptance and worth. Not always, but oftentimes that is the case. So that becomes something easier. Then once we tune into that resistance, we're going to ask it, what's it afraid of and what proof does it have? So as I tune in and I ask the resistance, the 2 things that come to mind is it feels like an unrealistic request, and it feels like that I'm going to be an imposition to them. And then I ask the next question, what proof does it have? And when I tune into what proof does it have, there's no proof at all. It's actually the counterfactual. It's saying these people actually are your friends. These people would work with you. These people respect and admire you. And still, as I say that, and this is important, even though I'm getting that counterfactual, there was a moment of release, and there is still some tightness that is hanging out there. So then we move on to the next part. So the next part is our little compliment sandwich, where we're appreciating the system trying to keep us safe, letting us know how it is not working, and then affirming its commitment to keep us safe. So just tap along with me. Think of a task. Repeat after we move from point to point. I appreciate the fact that my system is trying to keep me safe. My system is worried that I'm going to be judged, that I'm going to come across as pushy or demanding. Or they're going to judge me as being ridiculous. That I was even going to ask. So now we move on to the next part. And I appreciate the fact it's trying to keep me safe from this sort of judgment. But the reality is, it is keeping me safe from something that isn't actually dangerous. It's trying to keep me safe from something that isn't actually the issue. And I give myself permission to know I can appreciate how my system is trying to keep me safe, even though it is trying to keep me safe from something that isn't actually a danger. And so I just take a nice big deep breath. And in this case, just as we're working through it, I'm going to tune back in and notice. And as I tap through that, there's still something that's landing in my solar plexus, but it's not as heavy and it's not as tight. So we go into the next step. So what's it costing you not to make this change? So what it's costing me is it's preventing me from creating a really powerful resource that is going to make a difference in the world. And the negative emotions that come along with that are disappointment in myself and frustration with the fact that I am letting people down by not getting over this. And this is what the tapping looks like. I recognize the fact. There is a part of me that's really frustrated that I'm not doing this. It's frustrated because I'm getting in my own way. It's disappointed because I know better. It's disappointed because I am my own worst enemy in this particular regard. And all of those emotions are simply pointing out that I should be able to, and I'm capable of doing this. And so the frustration and the disappointment is just that part of me that knows what is being squandered by me not taking action. That knows this isn't a big deal. And I just need to get over myself. And the resistance is trying to keep me safe. And I'm disappointed by the fact that its efforts to keep me safe are actually doing just the opposite. And I know better. I know better. I just need to do the thing. And it's safe for me to do the thing. Nice easy breath. Now, in this particular moment, and I think this is a good demonstration, in this particular moment, all of the resistance is gone. All of the concern is gone. All of the worries are gone. If I wasn't doing what we are doing right now, if I wasn't going to tap with you guys for the next 30 or 45 minutes or so, I would go do the task right now. I wouldn't need to continue on to the next step. If we were continuing on to the next step and you want to be comprehensive, then what we do is we name what we want instead. In this case, naming what I want instead is sending the emails. So then I complete the following. It's not safe for me to have sent the emails because. Now, as I tune into that, no emotion at all. I'm not allowed to send the emails because there's nothing there. I'm not worthy of having sending the emails because there's nothing there. I don't deserve to have sent the emails because, ooh, and there we have something. I made a request earlier and I didn't follow through, and I don't deserve to have the results because I've gotten in my own way. I recognize the fact that there is a part of me that thinks my just rewards for not doing this sooner and not following up mean I shouldn't be able to do it. Mean I don't deserve the rewards and the fruits of doing this work. And I know that's silly. And I give myself permission to know it's silly. Especially considering this isn't even about me. Someone else is going to get the fruits of this work. And so I give myself permission to know I can take the action. Nice deep breath. Now, let's kind of dissect what happened right there. I was in a circumstance where, after the first three parts, I could have taken action, and it would have been fine because it was a small enough action. It was no big deal. But by going to that next step, even though it felt clear to take the action, by going through those 4 steps of the SOD protocol, all of a sudden it was easier for me to take action in that particular way. And so it became good and useful like that. So that's what the steps look like as we navigate our way through all of that. Awesome. Great. So now let's tap on your stuff. You've got 2 options. 1, feel free to drop questions into the chat box. The other thing that you can do is you can, as you drop questions into the chat box, you can also drop your tail enders into the chat box. What are things that came up this week that you would like to tap on? And what I'm going to do while you're doing that is I'm actually going to do something really quick in my video software so that I can share your comments on the screen. That will make it a little easier. So we've gotten my silly name out of the way. Awesomeness. So drop some questions into the chat box. Drop some tail enders that have come up. Share the things that you're resisting. Share the stories that are coming up. I can't do this because I'm going to be judged because I'm going to, we must have found lots of stuff over the course of the last number of days. Feel free to drop any of those, and you can be specific or general. Like even if it's just, I'm afraid I'm going to be judged by the people in my life, that will be enough for us to create a tapping phrase. So yeah, go ahead. Share what you got for me there in the chat box. And I always forget there's just a little bit of a lag between what I am saying and what you are seeing as we're doing this. So once we get going, we'll have a whole bunch of stuff there. And I just want to be able to do that sort of stuff so we can take care of it. Great. Okay, we got some good stuff coming in. Add to broadcast. I had my first sober day in years yesterday. Taking it small. Want the same for today and tomorrow and Monday. So I will have 4 days sober. That is perfect. Everybody tap on the side of the hand, take a nice big deep breath, and we're going to generalize this out for everyone and just move from point to point. I recognize the fact. Moving forward and having success can feel really, really daunting. Because I am fighting things that are hard. Patterns that are entrenched. things I have been battling for years. And I appreciate the fact that there is a part of me that wants all of the success and wants it all right now. And I am open to that as a possibility. But in the meantime, I give myself permission to take it one step at a time. I give myself permission to have and to celebrate the small victories, because the small victories are what leads to the large victories. The small victories are the things that lead to change. I give myself permission to celebrate the small successes. And to recognize I can celebrate the small successes and still be focused as I am moving forward in big and small ways. Nice easy deep breath. And as always, as we're tapping through this, if tail enders come up, make sure you jot them down. Insights that come up, write them down, grabbing a hold of those things. If you go to tappingtracker.com, unfortunately, I got the wrong button set up here. I'd show that to you on the screen. If you go to tappingtracker.com, you can actually print out, there's a PDF and Word version of the way that I track my tapping every single day and some instruction on that. It's absolutely free. Just enter your email address and that will get sent to you. So as tail enders come up, as other things come up, drop them in the chat box. We got lots of great stuff that is starting to populate over here in my chat. Let's do this. What's one that just, it feels like it's calling to me? Here we go. I'm worried that I don't have what it takes to have the success that I want. And actually what I'm going to do is let's do this. Let's give this a boop. There we go. A little easier. Oh, it's a gross color. There we go. Make those easier to read as we're working our way through all of this awesomeness. Let's add it back to the screen again. So what we're going to do is we're just going to do a little tapping on. I'm worried I don't have what it takes to be successful in the way that I want. Awesomeness. Everybody just tap on the side of the hand. Just move from point to point. Nice big deep breath. I recognize the fact success is possible. I recognize the fact there are other people who have had this success. But there is a part of me that is afraid that I don't have what it takes in order to be successful. There's a part of me that is afraid. I am only hoping for something that is not possible for me. I give myself permission to know I have achieved a lot of things in my life that were really hard. I have achieved a number of things that before I achieved them, I would have thought they were impossible. I give myself permission to know it is possible for me to trust. And I give myself permission to know that I can be diligent in taking action while still trying to improve. I can be diligent in taking action and still trust. And it is really hard. I'm going to pull in some of the other things we got in the chat box here. To trust the process. Or to trust myself. Because some of these things that I want to do I've tried before. And I haven't been successful. I tried before. And it didn't work out. I tried before. And not only did it not work out, it might have even gone worse than I worried. I give myself permission to know that this is a process that I am allowed to have worry and frustration, to have concern and doubt as I work my way through it. I give myself permission to be easy and gentle as I try. Nice easy deep breath. Again, if tailenders come up on any of these rounds of tapping that we're doing, jot them down so you don't lose them. Also, drop them into the chat box. They become more grist for the mill, more things that we can tune into as we're tapping our way through it. Also, make sure that you stay hydrated as we're tapping. It's not just good to be hydrated, particularly for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere who are in our summer, but it is good and useful. One of the interviews that we have at the 24 Hours of Tapping is with Dr. David Feinstein, where we talk about the mechanics of tapping. Some of the interviews had to be re-recorded because they couldn't join us live. So we'll be sharing that recording with you all on Friday afternoon, early evening. And we actually talk about in the mechanics of tapping and how tapping works, the value of water when we're doing that. So keep some water nearby. Sorry for those of you who have misophonia and don't like slurping and that sort of stuff in the microphone. I know better than that. Awesomeness. Let's see what else do we got poking around over here. Ooh, this is a fun one. That if I succeed, society will expect more than I am willing to give. The consequences and the secondary levels of success move from point to point. I recognize the fact that right now, I fit into a box. And that box is the framework in which people see me. They have expectations of who I am, of how I am going to react, and what I am capable of. And if I am successful, people are going to notice that. And when they notice that, they are going to change the shape of the box that I am in. They are going to expect me to live up to this new standard. And if I have to live up to this new standard, I'm just going to have to work harder. And so it makes sense that there is a part of me that is afraid to be successful. There is a part of me that success is not going to be enjoyable, but instead it's going to create a new standard and new work. I give myself permission to know I'm allowed to embrace and live up to the internal standards that I have created. I am allowed to live up to the metric that makes sense for me. Not the one that the world has for me. Not the ones that any individual has for me. The standard that is important. The standard that is valuable is the one I create for myself. Success does not mean this is the new baseline. Nice big deep breath. Once again, tune in, notice what comes up. Feel free, in addition to the resistance that comes up, I'd also like to hear the insights. Was there a phrase in any of the tapping that we've done so far that's resonated with you? Type those into the chat box as well, because I'd love to capture a bunch of those, because I'm going to show you how we use insights before we're done. So after each round of tapping, if a tailor ending comes up, drop it down. But if an inside comes up, drop those into the chat box as well, because we'll do a little tapping at the end to kind of sum up the things that resonated with us as we worked our way through all of this. Again, make sure you're drinking water, particularly in these hot summer days. Get away from the microphone so you don't have to hear me slurping too much. Awesomeness. What are some other good stuff that we got hanging out over here? Oh, it's all good stuff. If I don't pick your thing, it's not because it's not good stuff. I'm just trying to pick stuff that is universal for all of us. Here we go. I am not allowed to be heard. Boy, is that a common one. Side of the hand. Nice, easy, deep breath. And I want you to think about an area of your life where it's scary to speak up. Or it's scary to speak or live your truth. Not in I'm saying this is true, but just, sometimes it's just scary to be seen and heard by being who we actually are. Notice that resistance. Feel it in your body as we tap. And just move from point to point. I recognize the fact there is a part of me that is afraid to be seen, that is afraid to be heard. Because it does not believe it is safe for me to be seen and for me to be heard. And that makes so much sense. Because there is a part of me that recognizes that in the past, there are times in which I was told in explicit ways and implicit ways that it is not safe for me to be seen or heard. I give myself permission to know. That deciding it is safe for me to be seen and heard does not mean I'm going to be seen or heard all the time. I'm going to be seen or heard by everyone. I'm going to be seen or heard in every situation. Knowing that it is safe for me to be seen and heard does not mean I have to share everything all the time. With everyone. I give myself permission to know. It is possible for me to know that I can speak my voice. I can share my truth. I can be seen for who I am. And not have to do that all the time. To everyone. In every setting. I give myself permission to know it is possible for me to be able to discern places in my life where it is safer for me to share who I am. In big and small ways. I also give myself permission to know. It does not have to be an all or nothing proposition. And it is something that I give myself permission to grow into. Nice, easy breath. Again, grab any tail enders. Feel free to share some insights with us, the things that came bubbling up as you were working your way through all of that. It's good for us to hear these things, to say them over and over again. Let's see here. What else can we tap on? Yeah, waves of grief coming up with the phrases. That's okay. It makes sense, you know. And this is something that's really important, again, to recognize, is that anytime we're in a circumstance where there is transformation and release, very often after release, the next emotion that follows up is the emotion of grief. Because we're grieving lost opportunities, hanging on to something for too long, lost energy, worrying about something, loss of an identity, because oftentimes when we're releasing this stuff, we're changing the way we see ourselves. And anytime we lose something, grief can come along that. And so we can even grieve the loss of things that weren't the best thing for us, because many of the things aren't 100% bad for us. And even though intellectually we know releasing it is a good, useful thing for us to do, being caught on some of that stuff and letting it go is also useful for us to do as well. Let's see here. Here we go. This is a fun one. I still feel I don't deserve because I should and still should put, because I should have and still should put more work into it. This is a great articulation of that sense of deserving. So often we find ourselves in a place where we think that we have to have done it perfectly in order to have success or to move forward. Side of the hand. Nice deep breath. And just move from point to point. I recognize the fact there is a part of me that thinks success is only allowed to come my way is if I have done the right work, in the right way, in the right order, with the right intention, with the right effort. And I give myself permission to know every success that I've ever had in my life has come from imperfect action, imperfect effort, imperfect planning, imperfect timeliness. Every success that any human has ever had in the history of the world has come with imperfect action, imperfect effort, imperfect attention, imperfect energy, imperfect follow through. I do a very good job of giving other successful people grace around their imperfection, grace around their imperfect process, grace around their imperfect action, grace around their flaws. I give myself permission to know. Extending that grace to myself is not giving myself a free pass. Extending that grace to myself is not letting me off the hook. I can recognize my imperfection and take responsibility for that. I can recognize my imperfection and continue to move forward. I can recognize my imperfection and recognize that I am still worthy and deserving of success, of outcome, of results. It is okay that I am imperfect, because acknowledging my imperfection is just acknowledging my humanity. The response to my imperfection is allowed to be acknowledgement, taking responsibility, and then moving forward into what makes sense for me. Acknowledging that I'm imperfect is not giving myself a pass. Acknowledging that I am imperfect is not lowering my standards. Acknowledging that I am imperfect is just a recognition of the resource that is me. Every success that has ever been created in the history of the world has been created from imperfect and inconsistent action. I give myself permission to accept and acknowledge the exact same thing for me. Nice big deep breath. Big stretch, maybe give it a little shake. Let all that stuff settle in. One of the things that is also really, really important when we're tapping is that sometimes we can have transformation, but the entire system hasn't caught up to it in the moment. You know, it's kind of like a decision is made at the headquarters, but it hasn't made it out to all the regional offices yet. And so oftentimes after a round of stretching, after a round of tapping, stretching, moving, shaking, getting up, moving around, leaning back, all of those things are going to give it a chance to just kind of like settle in and get all the way through the system. If we don't do that, it's not going to slow or limit the process. But instead, what it's going to do is it's just going to make it easier for us to get all of the system on board to what has changed. You know, it's kind of like just because a software update has been done doesn't mean it's been sent out to all the computers and all the phones that are using the application. This is an opportunity for us to get all of that on board. Awesome. Nice big deep breath. The other thing you'll notice, a phrase I use a lot, is, there's two phrases that you'll hear over and over again what we've done so far. I recognize the fact, so we're setting the table. It's an idea I got from Orman McGill. All transformation starts by stating what is. The other is, I give myself permission is super, super powerful. To the point that, like, I regularly write permission slips for my clients. And I'm not saying that, and my students, I'm not joking when I say that. Like, there's this amazing power by having a permission slip on our pocket saying that we can go on the thing, do the thing, be the place that we want to be. And it's just so powerful to just give ourselves permission. and giving ourselves permission in every direction. I give myself permission to be disappointed. I give myself permission to be hopeful. I give myself permission to take responsibility. I give myself permission to act in new ways. So, awesomeness. So, hopefully, that 45-ish minutes of tapping was something that was useful for you. If you get questions about anything in the world, I can always be reached at support@tappingqa.com. One more time, I would like to encourage you, please, come join us in the Tapping Mastery Academy. It's beyond a labor of love. It is work that I'm super proud of. It's work that is making a huge difference. If you check your inbox, about 7 or 8 minutes ago, you probably just got an email sharing a little more information about the program. There's even a story from someone who is in the program, who's just been in the program since March, and the amazing, profound transformation they have had in their life. Those of you who have already signed up, I know a number of you have already done so. I'm very excited that you're going to be joining us. I will be reaching out to you on Monday with the request so we can figure out getting you your custom tap along audio, so we can create a tapping audio that is just perfect for you. I'll ask you a few questions and I'll put together 7 to 10 minutes that you'll be able to go back to again and again and again as if you were working directly with me. Also, everybody's in the program. We get to tap all the time in office hours. If you ever want to tap with me one-on-one, it is a great, easy, inexpensive way to get a little one-on-one attention from me as we're working our way through all of this. Everybody who won stuff in the drawings over the course of the week, team will be reaching out to you on Monday as well to get you details so we can get all of that sort of stuff squared away. And yes, in the supports, in the page, we'll get chat box from the earlier in the week uploaded there as well. We got slide decks there, and we can move forward. Awesomeness. Well, thank you very much for hanging out with me live here on your Saturday, or if you're watching the replay after the fact. The nice thing about this particular video is it's going to stay up. I'm max exaggerating all over the place. I apologize for that. It is my camera. Actually, let's just fix that real quick so it is not a distraction. So it happened when I leave my camera on overnight, it gets a little hot and we got some issues. No big deal. But this video is going to stay up on YouTube forever. So you can come back to it again and again if you want to tap along to any of this. I can always be reached at support@tappingqa.com. Thank you for spending some of your Saturday with me, or if you're watching this on a replay wherever you are in the world. I'm just an email away, support@tappingqa.com. It says the team reads it, my team reads it, but I read everything that comes into the chat box as well. Hopefully I'll see you at Art of Delivery on Tuesday night when we're talking about more limiting belief stuff. Hopefully I'll see you on the 18th for the 24 hours of tapping. Have an awesome day wherever you are in the world. I'll talk to you guys real soon. Bye-bye.